Everything about this movie was just
Rachel.
gorgeous. Hollywood needs more diversity and representation, and this film is just a starting point.
March. We've been dating for over a year.
Crazy Rich Asians!
March. We've been
Dude,
dating
I
for
watched
over a
this
year
movie
now.
already.
I think it's about time
I'm actually gonna go watch this tonight.
What about us taking an adventure east?
I love her. She was on Fresh Off the Boat.
Singapore. Colin's wedding. Don't you want to be my family?
I hardly know anything about them. Every time
See, okay, I actually have no idea
maybe his parents are poor and
what
he
this
has to
is
send them
about.
money. So take a bag and get you checked into first class. Nick, we can't afford this. So your family is rich?
I feel like I should have read the book.
The book series is also really good.
I read the book and I did not like it.
The Nick you're dating is Nick Young.
Aquafina, she's the best. Ken Jeong.
You guys know them or something?
Hells yeah. They're just the biggest developers in all of Singapore.
Damn, Rachel. It's like the Asian Bachelor.
It's so weird because you like never see like Asians, and it's not like a stereotypical Asian role. It's just like a normal movie. Finally,
I run into
Rich. They're crazy rich.
people like this
Should have told me.
all the time through my business.
They're like the Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry.
Which means she's the Meghan Markle.
This is Rachel Chu.
She just thinks you're some like unrefined banana.
No.
That's gonna be me one day in the future. I'm such an unrefined banana.
Yellow on the outside or white on the inside.
That's my dad. I always call my dad a banana.
I chose to raise a family.
I've heard a lot of people are excited for this movie, and like not just Asian people, and that's like
Don't you want Nick to
amazing.
I know you're not what Nick needs.
Ah, the classic Asian parent.
She's like trying to play a game of chicken with me, thinking I'm gonna swerve like a chicken.
But you can't swerve. You gonna roll up and be like,
Bok bok, bitch.
Yes!
not as aggressive.
I'm so excited.
I met a girl, I fell in love, and I want to marry her. You're Nicholas Young.
Henry Golding is such a man.
I still feel like they picked
You prepped Rachel to face the wall?
like Asians who will like be appealing to the mass audiences.
Like, Asians are a lot more than what this book and movie are trying to portray. We're not that crazy.
I know this much. You will never be enough.
Oh, I felt that. Oh my god.
Someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh, God. She can't know I was ever here.
That part got me in tears. It's such a beautiful movie. I'm getting so emotional just watching this.
This is like the Great Gatsby, but an Asian version.
Everything about this movie was just gorgeous.
If Nick chose me, he would lose his family. And if he chose his family,
I'm so excited for this movie.
he might spend the rest of his life resenting you.
You nasty. You kinda nasty. You got nastier.
So good. I'm so happy that you showed me this. Thanks to Jeannie. She actually invited me to like the movie premiere, so I got to see it I think 2 weeks ago. And at first I was a little bit skeptical because of the name, but then by the end of the movie I was like, I need to watch this again. This is so special to me. I'm so happy to be here. Like, I actually was at the red carpet premiere. I loved seeing and hearing everybody's reactions in the theaters. Like, now I understand why React is so big, because there's nothing more fulfilling than to see other people react to something that you love.
That was the trailer for the film Crazy Rich Asians.
It looks promising.
The film has become a huge talking point for people, specifically those of Asian descent, and so for this episode, we decided to invite some of our cast members who have that cultural background to talk about the movie.
That's right. That's the way to do it. Entertainment is shifting towards diversity and shifting towards accurate storytelling from people who experience their culture firsthand. It's told through our perspective. It's told through the eyes of Asian Americans. Hollywood needs more diversity and representation, and this film is just a starting point.
I just hope that people don't stereotype it through this, because there's so many different views that you can explore.
I'm afraid that anyone who's not Asian is gonna get the wrong perception of Asians. The rest of the world thinks that Asians are really out there, that all we wanna do is get money, money, money. It's like, that's the last thing I want people to think about my people.
Before we talk a little bit more about the film, we wanted to highlight a tweet sent out by one of the film stars, Constance Wu.
I love her.
So we don't have time to read her full message.
Okay, wow.
We wanted to highlight just a few statements she made in her tweet.
Fresh Off the Boat was the first network TV show in over 20 years to censor an Asian American story. Is that true?
Suddenly the fresh off the boat success, people were talking about the lack of Asian American stories. Why has it taken 20 years? I feel like it's just like how Hollywood is with that success. Now all of a sudden everyone's like, Asian culture, like we should start casting Asian people.
There's so much happening with other movements right now, with like feminism being a huge thing, with the whole Black Power movement. I'm not saying that like the problem with, I guess, like the Asian culture faces is like bigger than all those things that I just said. But I'm also not saying that it's like anything that should be looked past.
Crazy Rich Asians is the first Hollywood studio film in over 25 years to center an Asian American's story. 25 years? Oh my god.
Before Crazy Rich Asians, I hadn't even done a tiny part in a studio film. I never dreamed I would get to star in one because I had never seen that happen to someone who looked like me. This makes me so excited.
Oh my god, I'm starting to cry too, because that's like, I feel so bad for actors out there. Like, a lot of my friends are in drama, and a lot of them are like, I could never get casted in anything because I'm Asian, and that sucks.
Our amazing director, John M. Chu, says, "This is more than a movie, it's a movement. He is my hero, and he is leading the way. I hope you help our movement." It really is a movement. I didn't really think about it like that, but like, one movie can like spark more movies to feature people of color.
Maybe as an Asian, you want to get into screenwriting, producing, directing, like creating stories so that other Asians can be in it. You can't just come into Hollywood and be like, hey, white people, put me in your movies.
You have to find the fit, the character. It gives you a better representation because that is the true culture of that part. Look at me, I cannot play Spartacus.
We've had a lot of movies that kind of like do that, like with Love, Simon and like Crazy Rich Asians. Like we have these stories that like people haven't heard before, but it will pave the way for things in the future.
I hope Asian American kids watch Crazy Rich Asians and realize that they can be the heroes of their own stories.
I know Crazy Rich Asians won't represent every Asian American, so for those who don't feel seen, I hope there's a story you find soon that does represent you. That's so nice. That's so like hard. I don't know, like it just makes me really happy.
So many people just look at Asians as Asians. They don't see them as different types of people. Like I remember my freshman year when I used to play baseball, anytime we drove past a Panda Express, all my teammates would just yell, "Degler!" They would just yell at me, right? And I'm like, I'm not even Chinese.
Telling everybody's story is so important. It makes people feel not alone in this world. I just feel so emotional because I just never felt like I mattered.
So for you growing up, how aware were you about the lack of representation in media such as films and TV, and how do you feel about it now?
I mean, when I was little, I guess I never really put thought to it. But when I started to get, I guess, a little bit older, I started to realize, like, man, if I, like, wanted to see Asian people on TV, like, I'd have to go watch, like, a Korean drama with my grandma.
I came from a family that really just didn't give a damn if you were on screen, because that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you have value. Like, if you really want to truly make change, go and be a politician, go and be a teacher.
Growing up, I was always watching TV shows where, this specific person was the hero and we're all just the sidekicks. It made me feel like, oh man, maybe I'm just not that important. Even when I did watch, any sort of film with any sort of sidekick Asian character, my friends would joke and pick on me with that and say, oh look, that's you, you're the little sidekick that no one gives a crap about. And that's why I kind of stick with anime.
I've been wanting to direct movies since I was very young. It's gonna be hard for me to do this industry because, like I said before, I'm Asian and I'm a girl. And both of those things have been seen as not as good as a Caucasian male in this industry. Things do need to change in Hollywood with a lot of things, and this is definitely one of them.
The film was being distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. The creators of the film notably rejected a huge offer from Netflix so that the film could be released in theaters.
Wow.
Why do you think that it's important for a film like this to be in theaters specifically?
I feel like when you watch something in a theater, it creates such a different experience. It makes it feel more real.
Just having the movie isn't enough. We need the whole experience. We need to be treated equally as every other movie.
I've seen it in theaters 3 times, and I can honestly say there's nothing like sitting in a movie theater with surround sound, a huge screen, and an all Asian cast being projected on the screen. There's there's nothing more empowering and powerful.
So as we've been discussing, there's been a lack of representation, including some cases where roles written as Asian characters end up being played by white actors.
Oh yeah, you know, like Charlie Chan. That I didn't like, you know, because when you say playing, you know, Charlie Chan, you know, the real Chinese, have somebody, you know, Chinese play the character.
Ghost in the Shell. That movie, I didn't even bother watching it.
I watched Breakfast at Tiffany's when I was like a kid. I never noticed anything wrong with that, and then I found out that it was like a white dude playing an Asian.
Some have pointed out over the years how few household names are of Asian descent and how many big shows like SNL have never had a full-time Asian cast member.
I never thought of that before. Like, I don't watch SNL, but then, like, I guess it never dawns on me just because it's what's expected of society.
Why do you think that Hollywood has had such a tough time casting specifically people of Asian American descent?
I honestly have no idea. I know it's not a lack of actresses and actors.
It's probably better to have more Asian casting directors in Hollywood, because I think those are the people who are actually making it happen.
Well, it's not a stable job, and most of the Asian upbringing, you need to find a stable job when you get out of school.
It's not that they didn't want to cast Asian people. It was mainly that I feel like they were scared of like what would happen if they casted Asian people. It's still business, you know, like they're still trying to make money, and if they're doing something out of the norm that's not gonna make money.
Movies have been around for so long, and it's always been like geared around like Americans and like Caucasian people, that it's just hard to like break out of that bubble and like do something different. It's just so much easier to just like go with it and just do it.
Well, so despite the excitement, there has been some backlash with the movie. Some people were upset that based on the trailer, the film does not accurately portray Singapore's accent or cultural diversity and lacked visible South Asian characters.
Oh God, who said that? If we really use a Singapore accent, we would not know what's going on. I can barely understand what they're saying. Is it Malay? Is it English? I don't know.
This has led people online to debating as to how progressive the film is. For you personally, do you think that this does lessen the impact of the film, or are these concerns unwarranted?
Well, you know, anything you do, there's a pros and cons, and people bitch about it.
If someone is willing to say like, oh, this movie isn't progressive because they didn't nail every single like aspect of the movie, like they're dumb. It is making a difference, and you have to be okay kind of with things going wrong.
The criticism is too intense because there's only so much you can do in a film. I'm not, you know, Chinese, I'm Vietnamese, but there were a lot of parts in the movie that I related to so much.
I think the criticisms are valid. With that being said, I feel like this is taking the right step forward. It opens the door.
Finally, many people in Hollywood are hoping that this film is a mainstream success and will propel future movies with Asian leads and stories. Do you think that's going to be the case?
Oh, totally.
I think it's gonna happen. I think more movies are gonna be made.
It might open the door for like Asian leads.
I just don't see a good storyline from the Asian culture type of a background that is entertaining enough for us to accept.
Definitely. This is so empowering for Asian artists, but I think just for Asian Americans in general.
When kids are growing up now, they can see people that look like them that inspire them to do more. People in Hollywood need to cast Asian Americans, and that they need to just be conscious and think about it and create roles with depth.
Thanks for watching this special episode of React, and shout out to Stella Starr and Molly Ferguson.
Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss the next episode.
Bye, guys!
Hi guys, JC here, producer here at FB. Thanks so much for watching this special episode of React. What did you think of Crazy Rich Asians? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.